I am an independent filmmaker and visual artist from Edmonton, and also an arts administrator with the Film and Video Arts Society of Alberta. I've heard it classified as punk rock on sedatives. I can't really agree with that or disagree with that, but I like the term enough that I put it in my biography for the most part. Kind of pure coincidence, I guess. I've been a long-time friend of the director, Kyle Ball, and when he was planning on making his feature film, he just asked me to make it, and I'm a big fan of the aesthetic that we were trying to go for, being liminal spaces and kind of the unsettling atmosphere of essentially nothing. And we've worked together quite a few times in the past before, so it's kind of a natural way for me to hop on that film. My films are primarily not horror films, so there's that large difference between them. Otherwise, I think the largest similarity is kind of visually trying to do something different, at least. Focus on more weirder visual aspects is, I think, the largest similarity between them. To be honest, it's hard drawing inspiration just in general. It's been a while since I've made one of my own films, and you kind of go through life just trying to wait for something to usually happen. That's how I usually find it. I try to not look for inspiration. I just try and let it find myself usually. So I don't really have a way to draw inspiration for my films. However, a large aspect of what I try to do is try and find visual inspiration for my films, primarily from photography. Gregory Crewdson's a huge influence to my films as well, and that's a sort of visual style I want to try to strive with going. Is very wide and large open scenery with lots of things going on is something that I'm more keenly interested in as I continue to make films. Make the films that you want to make, and don't make a film because somebody else, wants you to make it. Don't make a film for an audience, make a film for yourself, and that's what we did with Skinamarink as well. We didn't anticipate having millions of people watching it or having a large theatrical release. We made it because it was something that we just wanted to make, with no audience in mind at all. And I think if you're true to yourself in your art form, you're going to be more pure with the work that you're actually crafting instead of thinking about an end product. Finding money is difficult. I guess would be the hardest lesson is trying to come up with a bigger idea than I think you might financially be able to pull off. Something I do notice in filmmaking is people trying to make a bigger and better film each time, but not having the monetary support to be able to do it. So having to kind of scale your expectations back just a little bit of what you're realistically able to accomplish. I can make a short film or a script for a feature that is Marvel-esque and might need hundreds of millions of dollars, but realistically, if I'm not able to actually do that, then I might not be able to make the film. You need to take your expectations back just a little bit. Most challenging part is getting up early, I think. I'm not an early morning person, and working those long days, 10, 12 to 14 hours is tough on the body, and especially like mine. I have a pretty bad back for the most part, bad knees. So, doing those long hours doesn't work out so well for me. Otherwise, the more challenging aspects, I would say, is just making sure that you're taking care of your body for the most part. Getting enough sleep, making sure you're eating food, and especially if you're making your own films, making sure that everybody's well fed as well. There's no real best way to get into the industry. And it depends on what you want to, I guess, do in the industry and what you want to, at least for yourself, define as the industry, because it means different things to different people. The industry for some might just be making your own films and getting some theatrical releases from it, and for others it means just working on films, maybe no matter the scale. So I would say the best way is to figure out what you want to do, and it takes people a different amount of time. I mean, at least for me, it's been about 10 years, and I'm still figuring out exactly what I want to do. Whether it's be a director of photography or direct or produce films or just be an arts administrator, for example. The easiest thing for you to do is to make connections. No matter how small or how large of a connection it is, a connection is a connection. and being willing to, you know, assist your friends at least, and always try to be willing to say yes for the most part. I think that's the easiest way to get in, is if you're willing to help and can help other people, they eventually will help you back as well. If I had an actual response, it's, yeah, just strive to make something weird and unique to be a filmmaker. There's so many films getting created each day and every year that it's hard to stand out, and you need a really unique idea and something that's very original that nobody's seen before or has tried before, which, you know, Kyle and I were lucky enough to do with Skinamarink. But I think the idea of kind of blinding success, of wanting to succeed and wanting to get your name out there, can take over yourself more than actually putting that into your work. I think if you just focus on the work that you're creating and you're trying to create something unique and kind of classic to yourself, at least, you should be able to find success, I think.